which has to be from the young players. You have to say that Arteta has shown nothing but fraudulence. Nothing but fraud-like behaviour. What's this mean for Arsenal going forward, though? Who knows? Who bloody well knows? Like, I've heard all the rumours that Stan Kroenke is going to invest in the club. I'll believe it when I see it. And even then, I think it'll be with some big asterisks next to it. I think that if Arsenal was to get this so-called 100 mil that they're rumoured from Kroenke, this would be 100 mil that Kroenke will borrow from a bank, and he will use Arsenal as collateral to be able to take this out. So it'll be a loan that Arsenal will then have to go and pay back. So thereby putting the club into more debt. Now that's my theory in it. But if I'm wrong, please, at some point in the future when you guys look at this, just know that I was right. Just know that I was right. But if it's going to go the way how I think it's going to go, the fact that we're on a self-sustaining model and what needs to be done, I truly see this Arsenal side as being built off of the backs of the academy players with some smart signings. That's how it has to be. And it can be done. It can be done with even with the players that we have here right now. If you get rid of the ones that want to leave or are rumoured to be looking to leave, the likes of Guendouzi, Torreira, even Maitland-Niles, to be honest, which I don't want them to leave. But, you know, Bellerin, Xhaka are being rumoured to leave as well. And even the likes of Lacazette, who are going into the last years of their deal. You know, once you look at getting rid of some of them and using some of the money to buy smart, Arsenal could do it. I genuinely do think that we can do it. So, what do you do? What do you do? You need to replace Xhaka because long term he's not it, and he's already said that he probably sees himself in Germany, which I get. Like most of his games have been in Germany, and you know he's got a lot of German friends. Like great, you know, enjoy Germany. But who do you get to replace him? Who do you get to then be a backup for him? Now, like, this is where the likes of Joe Willock, those come through. This is where people like Guendouzi would have been great to be an alternative. This is where people like Maitland-Niles would have been great, but I don't see a future with them. Definitely Joe Willock. Like, for me, Joe Willock is a goal-scoring midfielder. And finding goal-scoring midfielders, you don't see it anymore. You really don't. And a goal-scoring midfielder like from central midfield, I mean, we're talking Gerrard Lampard-esque type of player. And I'm not putting him on that level, but like he's shown, this guy, he's shown he could score goals. He's shown that if you need a goal, like call on Joe. But he can be an option. But you have to, this midfield needs to be completely reconfigured to something completely new. You get Xhaka's replacement. I've always liked Ruben Neves, but again, he's pricey. You know, he's going to cost you a lot. He's only, what, 24 years old. Very good player. Creates chances, score goals. He's always been a problem when we faced against Wolves this season. As you've seen, that we lost to Wolves home and away. For me, I'd be happy with him. But we're probably going to have to go and find someone that's somewhat cheaper. Maybe even loan somebody in that could play next to Thomas Partey. That might have to be the solution there, at least temporarily. Maybe loan someone in central midfield and then use somebody in the academy to help to be the backup for that position. That could be the temporary solution and the way forward. And then going forward, in that front three, I'll get to the striker in a moment. But left wing, number 10, and right wing. Now, For me, Pepe is on the left. Pepe is your goal scoring left winger. I don't like him on the right. And for the purpose of this video, I won't be putting him on the right for me. Saka, versatile. He can play right and left. I'm not sure which side he's better, or right or left. But I'll say this, is that Saka for me is more of a creative player. Gets more assists than he does goals, whilst for me Pepe gets more goals than he does assists. And I think it's a good to have that kind of balance there on the left. Now on the right though is a problem, because Willian supposedly is supposed to be the player there on the right that's supposed to create chances and potentially score goals, but we don't have that. So we need to find a right-sided winger, that probably two wingers, that scores goals predominantly and creates chances on that right. And if you play Saka on the right, then you need a goal scoring right winger, and you need more of a creator on the right, on the left. That's how I would do it, because you need to have a balance. Because right now, if you look at Arsenal in the table, particularly the Premier League table, well, that's the only table we can look at now, defensively, Arsenal are pretty solid and are very similar to the teams that are above them. But where you see Arsenal are not even in the same league as some of the other teams, like the Chelseas, like the West Hams, and even the Evertons, is the amount of goals that we scored. We have scored about 25 less goals than all of those other teams. That's where Arsenal have suffered. Even when you look at our defensive record compared to the likes of Manchester United, it's right up there with them. But we're not scoring enough goals. And we can't be reliant on just one player, Aubameyang, to score all the goals. You have to get goals from other places. You have to get goals out wide. You have to get goals at that number 10. And this is why Arsenal need investment there. I wouldn't say heavy investment in terms of money, because we're not going to have the money to be able to do all of those things. So you have to find creative ways. One creative way might be like we had West Brom yesterday. Before the game, I knew of Mateus Pereira just based on me doing research and the numbers that he's put out with. I think now he's on like 12 goals for the season for West Brom and about 5 assists, which is really good for a player that plays for West Brom. He might be the type of player that we might look out for. Can play anywhere, right and left and number 10. And he's mainly a goal scorer, and he's done pretty well. Arsenal might look into him, or they might look into someone else. I don't know, but they need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out in a more cost-effective way. Then you got the number 10 position, which is interesting, because for me, I'll tell you this right now: Odegaard, okay player, not good enough for me overall. And you can say that he hasn't played a lot because he's injured, but neither has Joe Willock, because this is why I was looking at the numbers. Joe Willock has played 1,650 minutes this season. This is between Arsenal and Newcastle. Odegaard has played 1,450 minutes approximately between Real Madrid and Arsenal, mainly playing for Arsenal. And he's only scored 2 goals, Odegaard, whilst Willock is on about 9 right now across all competitions. And you have to say, I'm not saying that Joe Willock is better than Odegaard, but I'm just saying Joe Willock has scored more goals than Odegaard, and I'll let you guys go and sort the rest of that out on your belief on that. But something needs to be done with the number 10 position. Now, this is probably the toughest position to find, because the type of number 10 that you need, in my opinion, is someone that can help to get the best out of Aubameyang. I don't think that you need someone that's like an Odegaard type, because I think that's where Smith Rowe is. Now, I get it. Smith Rowe is not your kind of Ozil type number 10 that's just going to sit there in that number 10 and you just circulate the ball through him. And that's just because he can do more. You know, he can score goals. He can create chances. But when you look at the fact that Smith Rowe, in half a season, like pretty much, like by the end of the season, he would have done a little bit more than half. He's got 2 goals and 7 assists across all competitions. what is he going to do in a full season? Because me looking at the numbers, and I do look at the numbers in terms of goals and assists. If he's getting 2 goals and 7 assists in half a season, in a full season, pretty much looking at 4 goals and about 14 assists. It's if that's his ceiling, then I like that. But the other type of number 10 that Arsenal need to get, and that's dependent on the type of striker that they get as well, would be someone that can hold the ball up to complement Aubameyang, because Aubameyang can't hold the ball up. Someone that can drop back in midfield to also help provide support as well, which is what Smith Rowe can do. But someone who also has an aerial ability as well. And again, that all depends on the type of striker that you also have. So for me, when you're looking at the strikers that we do have, not many of them could hold the ball up. This is Nketiah, Martinelli, Balogun's pretty good at it. John Jules, I think, is okay at it, but it's not his game. And obviously we know Lacazette, but Lacazette's probably going to be leaving in the summer. So you have to say that you probably need to go and get a number 10 that can hold the ball up. And it's going to have to be a different type of number 10. And the only number 10 that I've seen so far, and I need to do some more research on this, is the likes of Jonathan David, who can play in that number 10, as well as playing a striker and also playing central midfield. Very versatile player. Is not super clinical, which is why I don't think you could get him as a striker. But he plays all 3 of those roles well. And if you have Jonathan David in that spine, I honestly think, you know, if you have him there, you could actually play a false 9 overall, because he can do it all. Now, is he prolific? No. Is he really creative? No. But if you mix him well with the right players around him, I think he could be the right type of impetus to be able to get the best out of players that are around him, as well as him as well. But again, that's just a theory. I put this all in Arsenal's hands. Now, this was a very long video, and I just had a lot to say. And I mean, I could talk about the striker situation with Eddie Nketiah, you know, and all the horrible things that people have said about him, and you got Martinelli and discussions around him, and Aubameyang, and I mean, what it is that you need to get the best out of Aubameyang. You've given him a massive contract. You can't get away from that. It's going to be almost impossible to sell him. So you need to find a way to get the best out of him. And everything that I've said about Jonathan David, I think would help with that. And if not Jonathan David, then you get a player that's like him. And this is where the scouting department have to do their work. And they've got a lot of work to do. Because when you really think about everything that I've talked about, you're talking about a new goalkeeper, a new backup goalkeeper, a backup left back, a backup for Thomas Partey, someone to play next to Thomas Partey. Then you're talking about 2 wingers. One has to be goal scoring and one has to be a creative person. Then you're talking about a number 10 as well. So you're really talking about minimum 8 players. 8 players for Arsenal to get back to being the Arsenal that we know. Which makes sense, because when we was under Wenger, it was always 4 players or 3 players. And it always included a DM and a centre-back. That's what the issue is. So now under Mikel Arteta, we're talking 8 players Arsenal need. And that's a minimum. 8 players minimum. So we've got a long way to go. Now that for me the season is officially over, I can start to look at more of the positives. Look at more of the young players. Let's see what Mikel Arteta does. Or let's see if, you know, he's been listening in overall to people like myself. But I do hope that we can make some changes in the summer. I see a lot of positives with a lot of our young players, but it really depends on what this club does, and it depends on Arteta as well, who will surely still have a big part of that, even though I don't think that he should. But let's see what happens. But I think it's all positive, and I'll try to continue to be positive. and I've been given lots of good feedback and thoughts based on this video for that. So let's see what we can do. Lots of rumors are flying around. One of them to just drop about Camavinga. I'm not going to talk about that for the obvious, because he's too expensive. But great, check out I think some other videos with Guna Talk. I think is going to be talking about that. Go check them out. But yeah, thanks all for watching this long video. I'm probably going to break this up into different parts, since this is a very long video. I think it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes long. You know what, I might actually just combine it into one video, because this video has been due to come out, because I've just had to let everything out, and I feel so much better that the fact that I've let it out, just it's a relief. I feel like I've literally just taken a shit, and you know that, whew, feels great. Feels absolutely great to be back. Be back to me, to let it all out, let my feelings all out with everything. So guys, thank you once again for watching the video. You know, I will try to upload as many videos as I possibly can. I want to put videos out of substance. I can't just churn them out. For me, churning out doesn't help. Doesn't help for me. Has to be videos of quality, something that I generally want to talk about. And this was one of those videos. So thank you for watching these. Check out some more other content you can see here from the end screen on some videos that I've done over the past several months. Some of them still pretty much funny, as well as my reaction videos. But I'll see you all next time.